Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome on this Friday, May 24th, 2024. My name's Tom Coffey. Where's the year going? I know I keep saying that, but it's flying by. We're streaming live. We're right now on YouTube and on Rumble. Rumble.com/CoffeeNuance/live. Just bookmark it. Easy to find. Easy to find. And we got something to talk about today, and that is living in a political bubble. I think a lot of us can relate to that, especially Bill Maher. So let's see, just making sure we're live. Do a little refresh, and then we'll get on with it. You know, I guess we'll come on. We can do it. Hey, what's up, Bastille? All right, we got a couple people in here, so let's get going with old Bill Maher, shall we? Yeah. Well, I want to dive into something that has been bugging me lately. You know, we live in an age where information is at our fingertips, yet somehow, some folks still manage to get the basic facts wrong. Case in point, Bill Maher. Yeah, same guy who loves to roast everyone else for their ignorance. Turns out even he can step in it. Now, let me break it down for you. Bill Maher, while promoting his new book, made some rounds on shows that aren't exactly liberal friendly, and kudos to him. Tip of the hat. But maybe he should have done a little bit more homework before stepping into the lion's den. On one show, he claimed Hillary Clinton never said Trump was an illegitimate president. Really, Bill? I mean, did we all just hallucinate those 4 years where she couldn't stop talking about how Trump was illegitimate because of Russian interference? If that wasn't enough, Maher also suggested police officers were killed during the January 6th Capitol riot. Now, let's be clear. Events of January 6th were disgraceful, but got to get your facts straight. No police officers were killed on that day as a direct result of the riot. Now, Officer Brian Sicknick tragically died the next day from natural causes, and while death is tied to the stress of the events, it wasn't because the rioters killed him. 2 other officers died by suicide in the aftermath, which is a separate tragic issue someone might want to look into. But here's my question. Where are all the so-called fact checkers when Bill Maher gets it wrong? PolitiFact, factcheck.org, Snopes, anyone? No, crickets. It's like they've all taken a collective coffee break when it comes to holding Bill Maher accountable. Look, I get it. Everyone makes mistakes. But when you're in the business of calling out others, you got to be extra careful. It's one thing to have an opinion. It's another thing to spread BS. Misinformation. And the fact that no one from the fact-checking community has pounced on this is pretty telling. It's almost as if there's selective outrage machine at work here. We need to hold everyone to the same standards. If you're going to fact check one side, you got to check the other. Because when you let things slide, it erodes trust. And trust, my friends, is the currency of our time. The truth doesn't take sides, and neither should we. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the least watched, best censored commentary news show live right now. Flame on. Yeah. Political bubble. Bill Maher. You like this little AI I did for Bill Maher? I think it looks pretty accurate. Probably younger than he actually is, but whatever, it's fun. Yeah, so Bill Maher, he was promoting his new book, which he's been referencing endlessly. On his shows the last number of weeks. But he's been appearing on shows typically avoided by liberals, and it's resulted in some heated debates. On Gutfeld, Bill claimed that Donald Trump would not accept the loss in 2024. It sparked a clash with Greg Gutfeld. That actually got a lot of views. It got like over 3 million views. So good for that. Megyn Kelly's show, they debated past presidential candidates' acceptance of election results. Kelly pointed out Hillary Clinton had also denied her 2016 loss, labeling her the election denier, the OG election denier, which Maher disputed. They also argued about Capitol 6 riot and whatnot. But this really does open up the idea of what is it like to live in such a political bubble. Now, Bill Maher has famously said that he doesn't listen to a lot of media. He doesn't listen to alternative media. He's got a couple of sources that he trusts, like CNN and New York Times, and he just doesn't listen to anyone else because he doesn't want to get infected by all this crazy misinformation that's out there. And I don't know. I'm going to play you this clip from the Megyn Kelly show. I don't know if he gets it. I don't know if he gets that he has been tricked, right, by his media sources. But I can't read minds, and neither can you, I don't think. So I just have to, imagine what it's like being Bill Maher and finding out that all of these narratives that you had are wrong. He seems kind of defensive about it, and it makes me wonder if he will actually go and look this stuff up and find out he's been wrong, or if he will just brush it off as, these crazy right-wingers or whatever. So anyway, I want to play this clip. It's not very long, from the Megyn Kelly show. I would give credit to, I've downloaded the clip off of Twitter, which a lot of people had posted. I don't know who did the editing and put the captions on. So good on whoever did that, but I'm not sure. I'd give him credit, but I couldn't find it. So anyway, this is about a minute, but this is how it went.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
Okay, I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know. That's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. I think on January 20th, 2025, he'll show up at the White House, whether he's invited or not. And I don't think that's going to be good.
He's gonna bomb in if he lost?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Bomb is a word I wouldn't even throw around lightly.
Oh, stop it. He's not going to do that.
Right. Like there was never an attack on the Capitol.
Oh, I hear you. But he's not going to show up at the inauguration.
Like they didn't show up at the Capitol and break windows and knock down doors and kill cops and chase.
They didn't do that.
And they didn't break windows,
they didn't
knock
kill
down.
cops.
They of course did.
No, they didn't.
Who did? They died of natural causes that day?
Officer Brian Sicknick, the medical examiner, has determined that he suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes.
Yeah, nobody died that day.
Cops.
No, not true. Who?
Okay.
Who?
Oh, I don't remember the names.
They didn't. There was Brian Sicknick, who died later, after the fact.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if there was anything wrong with the sound of that clip. It sounded fine to me, but again, I'm not you, and I'm not. That's one of the things when you do this show. You do something that sounds right in the studio, but maybe it doesn't out there. Maybe I should ask all my engineers that work for me. Just kidding, it's just me. Anyway, so that was just a little taste of the Megyn Kelly interview. Yeah, I think I did speed it up like 10% or something, so maybe that changed that changed the sound. But anyway, it is an example of when you live in a political bubble, that you really don't understand the world that's going on. And you know what? We all live in some kind of a bubble, right? We get our news from particular places, and often we're not really going outside of those areas. Now, you should probably go with who you trust the most, but if you only stay within your bubble, you're going to look as ignorant as Bill Maher did right here, where he clearly, he had no idea that Hillary Clinton has been saying that Trump has been illegitimate for years. For years. She even wrote a best-selling book on the topic. And that so many people in the media, so many people on the left, have used that exact same phraseology, illegitimate, right? So I'd be interested to know if Bill will actually learn from this, or if he's just going to write it off as, people that disagree with him. So who knows? We'll have to find out. But Ox has a good point here. Bill Maher only listens to a few sources: CNN, NYT, and other three-letter sources. If you know, you know. There we go. But anyway, I will go through all your comments in the after show. I want to get through a couple of stories today on this Friday, and then I'll go through your comments. So thanks for joining me live today. And if you're not watching me live, I don't know, you're missing out on all the fun in the comments, right? No, who cares? Who cares? But anyway, if you could give me a like, I would appreciate it. It means a little bit to me. Lets me know that you're not a bot, and you appreciate the little time I put in to try to give you my point of view. But anyway, we got some news, and this was a little shocking. So Morgan Spurlock, renowned documentary filmmaker behind Super Size Me, passed away at 53 due to cancer complications, born in 1970, West Virginia. Graduated from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. He initially gained recognition as a playwright before creating a web series, Bet You Will. Spurlock's fame skyrocketed in 2004 with his documentary Super Size Me, which examined the health effects of eating only McDonald's for 30 days, earning him an Oscar nomination and Best Director award at Sundance. His other notable works were Where in the World is Osama bin Laden and the Freakonomics film. He also created a TV series, Morgan Spurlock Inside Man and 30 Days. In 2017, amid the Me Too movement, Spurlock admitted to some previous misconduct, which significantly impacted his career at the time. He was married twice and had 2 sons. So I'm sorry to hear this news about Morgan Spurlock passing. I really enjoyed the work that he did. I thought he was a very creative guy. I liked his series, 30 Days, where he would try to do something for 30 days to really examine what it was like. I thought it was kind of on the forefront of this kind of reality TV documentary type stuff. Super Size Me was great. You know, it's interesting. One of the things when people pass away, often celebrities will then post a picture of them with the celebrity who passed away. And it's funny that I have like an unusual reaction to that. It's kind of like they're trying to and I'm going to explain why I'm a hypocrite in this case. It's like they're trying to make it about themselves, but maybe they're not. You know, maybe they're just trying to relate to what's going on. You know, that's one of the things is we project onto people what we think. And when I see some celebrity that I don't like posting a picture with the person who passed away, I'm like, oh, look, they're just trying to get clicks, and they're just trying to get engagement to show that they met them one time somewhere. But that's wrong. I think people should be allowed to do that in any way that they see fit. And I say that because there are times when I've met someone and had my picture taken with them, and it's like I kind of want to share that too. But I'm not looking to get clicks or fame or anything off of that. So why do I say that about these Hollywood celebrities that do the same thing? I don't know. Anyway, I met Morgan Spurlock. I've been into independent filmmaking for most of my life, and I've met him a couple of times, but had my picture taken with him. I went and saw Super Size Me at the at one of his screenings before it even really hit the circuit. And I think if I posted that picture, you would say, "Oh, what happened to you, Tom?" Wow, you aged. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I'm not making it about me. I'm sorry to hear the passing of Morgan Spurlock. I was a big fan of his, and yeah, it's a sad, very sad. But this next story is not sad. It made me very happy. That's right, as you know, I live here in Portland, Oregon, and well, Mike Schmidt, the progressive district attorney of Portland, lost his seat to Nathan Vasquez, deputy district attorney in Multnomah County DA's office. Vasquez campaigned on a platform criticizing Schmidt for the city's rising issues with drugs and crime. Voters in Portland have shown increasing concern over crime and homelessness, with businesses leaving the city center and residents feeling unsafe. Vasquez, an independent, promised to adopt a tougher stance on crime compared to Schmidt's approach of deprioritizing low-level offenses. Now, despite Schmidt's efforts to highlight recent improvements, such as a drop in car thefts and homicides, Vasquez's, how do you pluralize Vasquez? Vasquez's message resonated more with the electorate. This trend of electing officials with a tougher stance on crime has been seen in other West Coast cities like Seattle, San Francisco. Vasquez will assume office next year after his victory in the nonpartisan district attorney race. So, yay! Another Soros DA out. And the picture I have right here, right, that's George Soros and his son Alex, who's taken over his organization. It has been a big priority of this. And it's funny, when people started talking about this years ago, it was always a conspiracy theory, right? No, it's a reality. George Soros and his funded organizations, now run by his son Alex, have been promoting and funding DAs all across the country with the idea that they should not punish or try low-level crimes like shoplifting, car theft, vandalism, all kinds of things. And the results have been horrible. Nationwide, the results have been horrible. But this is what happens when you allow billionaires to buy people, buy politicians, and all of the suckers that vote these asshats into office, right? You say you're progressive, you say you're left wing, and in Portland, well, that'll get you in. And our city really suffered because of it. I'm glad that he's out. I was concerned that he was going to actually win, that Schmidt was going to win. Now, there's been a big campaign against him for the last couple of years. They've had billboards. Portland is a Schmidt show. Nice little play on words there, talking about all the crime. But the fact of the matter is people are dead because of this terrible DA. This DA kept letting people out on the street that were dangerous criminals that went on to commit violent crimes, assaults, murder that wouldn't have happened if they were prosecuted for the crimes that they did commit. One of the people was living in his car outside of my house. Yeah. And this person had been arrested many, many, many times. And over lockdowns, he had his car parked out in front of my house for about 7 weeks, something like that. I saw him every day when I would go out and walk my dog. But he should have been in jail, but he wasn't in jail because of District Attorney Mike Schmidt. And this person then went on later, a couple years later, to murder a security guard at a hospital. And in the aftermath, he was taken out by the Gresham police, I believe, just east of Portland. He had a shootout with the police and died. But, the person that was murdered by this criminal would probably still be alive today if it weren't for awful district attorneys like Mike Schmidt that were funded by George Soros. So I'm so glad that all these DAs are getting voted out, and hopefully we can return to having a better life. So who knows? Maybe Portland will rebound. We'll see. But I'm very happy about that. Very happy about that. Anyway, this is an update on the story, and I've got a theory. So let me tell you about these robocalls. Steve Kramer, political consultant, has been indicted in New Hampshire and fined $6 million by the FCC for orchestrating a robocall that impersonated Joe Biden's voice using AI technology. New Hampshire's Attorney General charged Kramer with 26 counts, including felony voter suppression and misdemeanor impersonation, related to 13 New Hampshire voters who received the calls. The FCC also fined a telecom company involved in the calls $2 million. Robocall was sent to thousands of voters ahead of the New Hampshire primary, urging them to save their votes for the general election. The incident marked the first known use of a deep fake in U.S. national politics and led to a new FCC rule banning unsolicited AI robocalls. Okay. Well, Kramer, who was under contract with Dean Phillips' campaign, he was running against Biden, claimed his intention was to highlight the dangers of AI deepfakes, not to interfere in the election. However, both he and the Phillips campaign denied any campaign involvement in the robocall. The case underscores concerns about the growing use of deepfakes in politics. So, when this happened originally, there were lots of claims by a lot of pundits of who could have been responsible for this. Often it was cited that, it could have been RFK Jr.'s campaign, could have been Trump's campaign, could have been Republicans. No. This was a Democratic operative that did this. And let's look at how this came about. And this is something to consider. I'm just going to present these facts, and you can decide whatever you like from this. But it looks like the Democrats wanted to ban robocalls from AI using AI. Okay. And so a Democratic millionaire operative did it in a way that didn't really harm anything. So then they could use that event to then pass the legislation to ban AI robocalls. Looks as though the Democrats got exactly what they wanted. They essentially did a false flag so that they could pass legislation that they wanted to pass that they probably couldn't pass otherwise. Well, I've never seen that happen anywhere before. Or since. I mean, that never happens, right? Where you stage something so that you're then able to use that as a reason to then get something passed. Anyway, something to think about. Anyway, it's Friday. We need some good news, and so I've got a little good news for you. So here we go. Ernesto Rodriguez, a photographer from Catalina Island, founded a nonprofit, Nature in the Classroom, to install life-size tree canopy photographs on school ceilings. Inspired by attention restoration theory, which posits that nature improves cognitive function, these installations aim to create a calming environment for students. So since 2018, Rodriguez and volunteers have brought these canopies to over 30 schools in California, Colorado, and New York. Teachers and students report improved mood and focus. And the project continues to expand with plans for further research and installation funded by donations and grants. So good hustle there, Ernesto. I like that. You were able to come up with a problem, come up with a solution. Oh dear. Come up with a solution, and then I'm not being cynical. No, I think this is really cool to have a tree canopy, which is essentially a picture of trees from underneath the tree, looking up, and then putting those on the ceiling. I think that's kind of a cool idea. I would like that if I were in a classroom, or even if I were teaching. If I were the teacher in the classroom, it would be nice to have that, as opposed to the the awful acoustic, the awful what kind of tiles would they be? The asbestos-filled tiles that are typically up there on the ceiling of classrooms. So that's kind of cool. It reminds me of Trees, which is the name of a concert venue or a bar. I mean, more of a concert venue in Dallas, Texas. It's kind of a hard rock, punk rock place. And they actually had some trees inside, and they decorated the ceiling as a tree canopy as well. And it was kind of a cool place to see a show. But I think this is a great idea, and I think it would be more calming for the kids. Now, even if you look at this picture, most classrooms got way too much stuff on the walls. I would take that down, and yes, put up some more nature, some nature. But I tell you, that's the idea. That's why I've got the little bamboo thing here. That's why I've got the nature behind me, because I think that it is nicer to have some nature scenes around you. And now I've found a news story that confirms what I already believe. So, so I'm sure it's 100% accurate, right? Anyway, that's all I have prepared for you today. Stick around for the after show. I'll go through all your comments, and I hope you all have an awesome weekend. Anyway, stick around for the after show. See you then. Come on, Tom. Let's clear this stuff up. Clear this stuff up. There we go. So here's our chat. Ox says, Soros secession. Pictures remind me of Sith rule of two. Always have an apprentice to take over. Indeed. Indeed. Yes. And I don't think that, you know, I'm just imagining, I don't believe that the Soroses think that they're evil overlords. I think they actually think that they're doing good for the world. At least that's what I'd like to think. Anyway. What's up, Bastille? What's up, Apothecary John? Bailner. Sadly, Bill Maher is either too sheltered or intentionally dense as a neutron star. Only reason he gets attention is that he has at least stopped clock right about a few things. But even that is a bit infuriating, given that it should wake him up to a multitude of other things. I agree with you right there, Bailner. That is dead on how I feel. Bill Maher should be much better connected to what is going. You know, your job is to talk about the news and to understand politics. That's your job, and you make a lot of money doing so. Even if you don't want to look into it yourself, I don't know, perhaps have a friend or an assistant or someone at least you could talk to once a week to fill you in on all the stuff that you're missing. But that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, I'm not sure what the sound was up, Eerie Fairy, with the clip. I will have to check that out on the replay to see what happened there, but I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see. Tom's in one ear, music in the other. Oh, wow. Okay, so if I... interesting. Well, I'm looking at... See, according to me, according to my things here, I am in stereo. But I will double check that after the show and see what's going on. Bill knows he's just a propagandista. Not an honest thought in his head. Well, I don't know. The thing is, there's a difference between someone that is running propaganda and someone that is naive or doesn't care. So if you're repeating propaganda but you don't know that it's propaganda, it's still bad, but it does involve intent. And that's one thing that we're often not very good at, is judging somebody's intent. I don't know Bill Maher's intent. It appears to me like his intent, that he is coming from the place like, I'm not going to listen to all these alternative crap news sites. I'm going to get my news from the real deal, CNN and the New York Times. Now, I just don't think that Bill Maher understands that that's not the real news, you know. So that's my take on him. But again, you know, if you're wrong, does it really matter why you're wrong? It does a little. Doug, never heard of the Morgan guy? Oh. He had a lot of great programs and great documentaries. I did, you know, the Super Size Me was good. You know, I thought it was well done. Interesting angle. And one of the things that I can appreciate is he went for it. You know, he went and did something and made it big and just kept pressing on. Where in the world is Osama bin Laden was one of the earlier critical views of that war. So I salute him for that. Yay, a light in the darkness for Portland. That's the way I see it. I really think that things could be a little bit better. Been a while since I have seen your videos pop up in my feed. Nice hair. I don't know if that's sarcastic or not. But I'll take it, Joe. Thanks for chiming in. Erie Fairy says, I would love the ceiling trees too. That is one of my favorite views, looking up through the trees. Yeah, I think it's gorgeous. I actually have a bench in my front yard, nice little like a park bench, that is looking out from underneath a big tree. And I love sitting out there in the morning, having coffee, just looking at the birds and viewing the tree canopy from below. I bring as much nature inside as I can, and I've always had windows uncovered and open if the weather's nice. Nice. TSA in DFW decorated their checkpoint walls with nature scenes to try to help calm passengers. The screeners were impervious to it. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing, is if you work somewhere, you kind of get used to things and you don't notice them anymore. Doc, I hope everyone has a great weekend, a holiday weekend. I hope you have a great holiday weekend too. Indeed. Doc says, I believe Maher surrounds himself with staff that he expects will funnel all news to him. The staff are likely biased. That could be something. Bastille says, Tom, your audio is fine. Clarification, I had the telephone on one ear. Aha, okay. And the tree canopied bench sounds lovely. It really is lovely. I have had some people see it and decide that they wanted to walk into my yard, and it was maybe a nice place to sit down and maybe shoot up, which my dog did not appreciate, and I had to go out and ask them to move on. But it really is a lovely little bench, and like I'm seeing right now, some little some starlings, little European starlings, I believe, right now, right outside in that tree canopy. So anyway, that's cool. That is all I have prepared for you today. I hope you all... Oh, let's see. Joe says, it's interesting where people gather their news from. If you know that, you can generally guess most of their opinions. That is correct. You know, there's this theory, I've heard Scott Adams talk about it, that your opinions are assigned to you. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I think that is kind of misusing the term. But I don't think that most people come up with their own opinions. They have opinions about things, and so they just take their news from people that they agree with. And then that way they will get opinions, and if it sounds good, they just repeat it. But it is true that if you know where someone gets their news sources from, you kind of know what their opinion is probably most of the time. So yeah. Starlings can mimic all kinds of sounds. Could be. I think I talked about it one time a while ago. I got this little bird app, so I'm able to identify birds. And I take the app out. I think it's called Merlin. And if the bird is making a sound, it can sample it, and then it also will map it so it knows where I am, and it knows what kinds of birds are in the area, and then it will match the sound of that bird to the birds that are in the area, and it can tell you what kind of bird it is. I think that's kind of a cool, fun little thing that I like doing, but I'm still learning about all the different birds there are. Okay. Well, very cool. I hope you all have an awesome weekend. Again, it is a holiday weekend, so do some holidaying, right? But yeah, have a great Memorial Day weekend, and I'll be back next week. Till then, peace.